Welcome back to my channel where I speak about art, the history of art, and connect it with the evolution of the human mind with the process of deciphering the secrets behind the artifacts that were found. Today I wanted to travel back to a time much older than the art that I've spoken about till date. We go back to a time somewhere around 75,000 years back, to caves, to the southern region of South Africa, to Blombos Caves. So, why am I fascinated with this, with these caves? I wanted to go back in time because of what was uncovered in these caves. These 75,000 years ago, the humans, the Homo sapiens, were also in the hunter-gatherer phase, but they were older than the humans 10 or 15 or 20 or 30,000 years ago also. But and also they had to live in caves. There was no concept of houses and settlements at that time. They were living in caves. They were hunting, they were gathering, they were fishing, they were just surviving basically. But what was found, what was uncovered in these caves? Archaeologists found pigments of ochre. It was a natural mineral found in and around the caves. But what did these Homo sapiens do with that? They created patterns, cross-hatched patterns that if you look at it, they were quite systematic. They were not random. There were no carvings on the walls of the caves of animals or hunting life or just day-to-day life that we find in the Chauvet caves or the Lascaux caves. These were the oldest caves where we saw how the humans of that time decided to paint the animals or day-to-day life, or the mammoths and things like that, and we kind of understood that okay, this is where their mind is at, and these are the things that they saw in their day-to-day lives, and this is how we understand that this is how their lifestyle was at that time. But 75,000 years ago, they did not make any markings of any of these. Neither did they make the handprints. They just made patterns, and they were systematic. If you look at it, they were systematic. There's a certain rhythm to it. They also, what did they do with the ochre? They got creative and they took the ochre and mixed it with fat, animal fat, and they made it into a pigment, like in a fluid form. And these pigments were formed in shells that were preserved, and they used tools that they used for hunting, tools made out of stone, tools made out of ivory, tools. They probably used these tools to mix these pigments in the shell and make the markings. They also uncovered shells that were corded, that were also coated with these pigments. So it can be believed that these shells that were put together could have been used as jewelry, as adornments, to look good, as fashion, or it could also be used for, it could also have a deeper spiritual meaning, where they thought, okay, if we mark them, if we coat them with this pigment, with this color, and we wear it, we are protected from what they know. But maybe this is what they thought, that we are being protected from external, whatever the sources that they might have conjured up in their minds. Never know. We don't know what went on in these minds, except for the fact that they were hunter-gatherers. So we assume that they had a primitive mind and their primary function was survival, therefore they existed. But no, when you look at this kind of information and and if you have an imaginative mind and a creative mind, then you can come up and conjure up a lot of scenarios. Also, being an artist, being spiritual in nature, this is where my mind head. This is a direction that I always venture out in that what is the spiritual uh, meaning behind it, the art that was uncovered from thousands of years ago. What could have the human beings thought at that time? What was happening? What was their surrounding like? Could it be more than just survival? So this is imagination at its best. So I found this fascinating. 75-year-old, 75,000-year-old artifacts found, but they had significance and meaning left behind, preserved, uncovered, and this is where this is the direction in which my mind went as an artist. So I thought, could it be being an artist? Sometimes when I mix the paint, try to get a particular color. Um, could it be that they were trying to do the same thing because they were also creative, primitive but creative when they mixed the ochre in the shells and they marked and whatever they did? Could it be that creative side that gave them tremendous joy, tremendous peace, tremendous, I don't know, maybe purpose, whatever it is that they went through? Could it be that that emotion, that function, that wiring in the brain has carried forward 75,000 years later, and we are still living in that DNA marked? So maybe the imprints in the DNA at that time is still exists today as an artist. That's what I was thinking, and I wanted to share that information today. I hope you like this information. If you do share this information with someone who's also interested in this kind of topics. Subscribe to my channel so we can stay connected and continue on this journey of art. Thank you for staying tuned with me today.